Hi. It's a good night for Reform and a terrible night for Labour, as Runcorn and Helsby has voted for Reform by about 6 votes ahead of the Labour candidate. And this basically could be a very, very interesting sign of things to come, because Runcorn and Helsby is not a is a Labour stronghold area. Basically, I think it was the 17th safest Labour seat or something in either the UK or North West. I can't remember which one, but definitely a very, very safe Labour seat. And the fact that Reform have taken it by 6 votes, this could be a very interesting sign of things to come, because Runcorn and Helsby, or the Weaver Vale as it used a constituency as it used to be known, is not a particularly strong Eurosceptic area. In fact, I think Weaver Vale actually was only about 50-51% Leave in the last election, although it is part of Houghton Council area, but basically the Leave vote was stronger north of the Mersey in the area around Widnes. So yeah, this is very, very interesting, and I'll tell you that Labour are a sign that Labour are in big trouble under Starmer and Rayner and co. I mean, and the fact is, Labour really are going to be worried about the next election now, concerned about the next election, because the fact is, Reform now, according to electoral calculus, are basically over 250 seats next, predicted to take over 250 seats if an election was held now, today. And the way things are going, I really do seriously think Reform will win by a majority in the next election. I just cannot see Labour coming back from this. The Tories are just unelectable for all the failures that they've done as well, so they're not even worth a light at the moment. And the fact is, Reform really are looking very, very strong indeed. I mean, you may not like Reform. I mean, they're not the perfect party, but I think they're the least worst option. And it's particularly worrying for Angela Rayner, Jess Phillips, and Ed Miliband and co, because their seats actually are pretty strong Eurosceptic seats. And basically, I think that those seats will basically go to Reform in the next election. I can't see Jess Phillips hanging on to her seat. I cannot see Angela Rayner hanging on to her seat, and I don't think Ed Miliband will hold on to his seat either. I think all three of them will be amongst the Labour MPs that will be gone in the next election. I'll tell you what, it's getting really, really interesting at the moment, and it is a sign that Labour really are getting their just desserts for the absolute disastrous way they've run the country so far, including Southport. The way they basically jail people for putting what they deem to be offensive tweets and social media comments, and release dangerous criminals so they could jail them. It's just absolutely mind blowing that people actually still vote for them. Mind you, I think the only people that really support Labour are left wing nut jobs. Migrants and immigrants, and basically people who believe climate change is going to be a disaster, which obviously it ain't, and people who support the likes of Sadiq Khan's bloody ULEZ zone, which is completely stupid, to tell you the truth. Just because a car emits a little bit more diesel. I mean, the fact is, none of these people even think that none of these people actually consider the fact that human input to climate change is very, very small, and doing these absolute draconian measures like trying to make people use make people all buy electric cars and all this rubbish is going to make scant difference. It just won't make any difference at all. One thing that will make a lot of difference is cutting trees down and getting rid of our forests and countryside so you can put more flats and houses up. That's another thing that will, but then Labour don't think about that, do they? Never have done. They just want to house all their friends coming over, don't they? Anyway, hopefully this is a sign that Labour are absolutely shot now. They've absolutely. A load of the Eurosceptic seats will just go Reform now. I don't even think they'll vote Conservative anymore, because I think Conservatives have had it as well. So good news, a good night for Reform, and I think a good night for Britain. Take care.